Hello, hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, for everybody who does not know this beautiful queen here, this is the Dr. Angela Davis. Yes, Davis Brown. Once again, coming to the Pretty Moody platform to drop this knowledge. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It is an honor and a privilege every time you ask. I really appreciate it.
And it's such a privilege for me to have you on the other side. So thank you so much. I appreciate all that you bring to the Pretty Moody platform, all of your knowledge and expertise. I'm just grateful to have you. We're not, hold on one second. My daughter just walked in right in the middle of the recording.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
That's all right. We're gonna pause here and then I'll cut and then pick it up. Hi,
Okay.
Kim.
I want to meet her.
She just walked into her hold on, as soon as she come out the laundry room. And she got pool clothes on, just
I'm jealous.
me too. I'm going back.
Yeah, right.
Dr. Brown says she wants to meet you. All right. Uh-huh. Oh, my phone, everything's on do not disturb. It's 2:08. And Charlie's even being good. Yeah. Charlie, get your mom. Come say hi to Dr. Brown.
Hi. Yep, just what I thought. Beautiful, just like your mom.
You're beautiful too.
All right. Don't come back in here in your own
I'm gonna
house.
get those pants in white for dinner on Blanc.
You are?
Those are amazing.
I have them in green and white. I wore them to the pool earlier. I just had to take them off for our podcast.
Where'd you get them?
On that Shein or Shein or however they say it. I love
I know it.
website. That's my website right there.
My gosh. Yes, yes, I am shopping for dinner on Blanc today.
So I'm okay. So we got our introduction.
Okay.
So we just going to pick up from here.
Okay.
So again, thank you for being here today. How are you today? How are you feeling?
I am well. I'm whole. I am at this point in midlife where I'm reevaluating life, what I've been taught, and creating my future. So I'm excited about that. It's like a roller coaster, right? Yeah, I have to grieve what I lost, some of the stuff I believed in, and then create the new life. And grief is grief. It comes in ebbs and flows, and certain things bring it, but it's a process. I believe in it. And I trust that God and the universe is getting me where I need to be.
I love every word of that. You're absolutely right. It's such a up and down. It's a roller coaster being in midlife, but the beauty of it is, like you said, we kind of get to recreate, and reinvent ourselves like during this time and find the good, those good times, those good moments, and really like live in those moments. I know I bring this up a lot, but in the Asian culture, they look at menopause as the second spring. And when I did my research on it, because I was like, the second spring, like, what is that? And I told my husband, and he said, it should be called the second summer because y'all always so hot.
We're Mother Earth. We create it all. We have all the seasons.
That's right. But they're trying to highlight the good things about being in this second half, so to speak, of our lives. And it's been a journey, like trying to you brought up like grieving. I didn't even look at it that way, but loss is loss, right? And that does bring forth grief. So I'm trying to now tap into this new woman that I am and really give her what she needs and what she deserves.
Yes.
And I find in that, not only did, I lose some things, for myself, but I've also gained a lot.
Yes, because, and there are things that you couldn't have gained prior to now, right? We can't do it while we're raising children. We can't do it when we're children because we're just learning how to be a Black girl, woman in this society.
Yes.
But at this point in life, and let me just say, my therapist has helped me a lot with this because mentally it's challenging.
Love therapists.
But we get to kind of like be here, look back at the younger side, right? Nurture that person who didn't get what she needed, what she wanted, right? Grieve the loss of youth per se, and then look at the future. And because of these generations we're sandwiched in between, we can see it all.
That's
right.
right.
I look at my aunts and uncles and I can see my future. And I can pick and choose what I want, right? I want the humor, not the health. Right.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it though.
Yes.
That you really kind of get to like create your own meal, so to speak.
Yes.
You get to put your meal package together yourself and meat and spit out the bones. And that, I mean, it's so true. And I find that during this time, I'm really realizing and tapping into those things that didn't make me feel good and the things that do make me feel good.
Yes. Yeah,
like,
me too. And
like
accepting the bad feeling, not suppressing it. Right. And then learning that we're not here for other people's pleasure. Right. We're here for ours. And we were not brought up like that. So to like stop yourself and then do what's best for you. And particularly, Mrs. Moody, with the menopause, right? Like, we're not supposed to talk about how, but we're supposed to be comfortable for everybody. We're not supposed to, I'm so learning. And it's a day to day process.
Goodness, it really
when it's okay to say, hey, I need a minute. Hey, I'm about to sweat. Right? Okay, like, to forgive me, and I've learned it, and
back up,
right, and making it a boundary, like
that's right,
and non-negotiable.
That's
hey,
right.
I'm hot. This fan's gonna be on. Give me a minute,
and that's it. Period.
Right.
And I think that we're moving to a place where we're realizing that we don't have to explain those things to people. It's not our job to get them to fully understand. Like, yes, we can state how we feel and what we need in this moment. And it's not up to me if you get that or not.
That's right. It's a non-negotiable.
It really is.
Boo. I'll be here with my fan. Keep talking.
That's it.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, even in like my work life, personal life, I'm just really sifting through things and figuring out what I want and what I don't want.
Because it's moment to moment to moment. And every moment presents something different. And it looks different, but applying that same, it's like a muscle, right? Right now for me, it's this one. I'm over the blah.
The doctor is talking.
It's talking. And I have a trainer, and the things that he told me that I have to do hurt. Right. And it's uncomfortable and I hate, and that's why I have a trainer, because if it's just up to me, I'm like, well, they all that. Right. Yep. But I want
like
Angela Bassett on it. Right. And what I want and what I have to do to get it, it's not there's no fairy godmother.
That's right.
I gotta work.
You gotta work.
So, and it's the same with drawing these boundaries with everything we go through with menopause. And honestly, the challenge for me, because I'm finally starting to feel my testosterone, is not getting homicidal in the process, right? Not because I'm from Philly, that neck will go, right?
I am too, honey. We know.
Right?
I got that North Philly right all up in there.
Yes. So. Yeah. The problem is I went to Quaker schools and I've never actually been in a fight, so I'm only good at talking shit. I can't back it up, but I'm learning right how to like make it so that nobody really questions if I'm really gonna
listen. We don't have to fight though. We know how to. We're learning to use what we have within to speak for us. So we don't have to fight.
I want because I lose.
No, you wouldn't. Trust me, it's in there.
Right, I was raised with it.
That's right. Menopause I'm telling you, of course is life-changing.
Yeah.
And for everybody that don't know, I entered through surgery, and it's crazy because trying to learn this new self, this new woman, this new person for myself is one thing, but trying to get the people that's closest to me to understand is a whole nother thing. And I'm at the point and I find myself where I'm like, yeah, I know I got to make sure they get it, but me first.
Me first, then you. And not only that, that's for me. First of all, for those of you who think that I'm a gorgeous, tall, amazing stature, I'm 5 feet tall, right? My kids call me a munchkin. And I was raised by people taller than me. They're still mostly taller than me. And they're always going to see me as baby Angie, right? They're proud that I'm a doctor. They know that I'm a doctor, but they can't hear me as a doctor.
Right.
It's the same with this.
Right.
Right. And family is family. And when with family, I've also learned from a therapist, we go back to that dynamic that we grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it kind of, and to grow together would really be interdependent on everybody growing at the same rate at the same time. And they're not.
It's impossible.
Right? It's impossible. And so to just accept, and again, and we talked earlier about grief, right? Part of menopause is part of life in general. Is grieving the stage you just left, because there's parts of it we loved and we're attached to, even if they weren't discovered.
Yeah.
Right. But now we don't have that. I don't have that. These are here. Right. I don't want surgery.
And they over here too sometimes.
Yes. And those little sticky things, apparently they work better if they were here. Because I tried.
Wait a minute.
This is not.
I was in the mirror the other day, like, if I pull this one
right,
here, and then if I just stand like this,
or if I could get some, you know what we should invent? We should invent some invisible duct tape that would just hoist them, right? For the menopausal women of us.
It has to be sweat proof.
Obviously. Because sweat is the number one. Menopause and sweat are like this. And I just read, because I was so nervous about speaking with you, that I read all these little tidbit facts first. But it said that
I cannot even believe you.
I know.
I'm the one that's nervous. I got the doctor. I have the doctor on the Pretty Moody platform talking about.
Because you know what? My mind does what everybody else's does. And I tell my children all the time, but it doesn't stop my mind from doing it. It's those 1 to 3, 4 a.m. hours where it's you and only you, and there's no logic and everything is dark. And I tell my kids, going there by yourself at that hour is the same as going to North Philly at 3 o'clock in the morning with no one, right? You don't do that. And it's the same thing with the mind. And then that's where the things come in. Girl, you don't even know. You're not even up to date. Like, have you read anything?
You are the doctor.
It's that perfection, right? So anyway, it said that, and it really blew my mind when I read it just now. And I don't know the exact number, but I think that these hot flashes account for over 1 million visits a year, and that 80% of women across the world experience them. And that tells you so much to me. Now, also my menopause has set me, and I was, I am Angela Davis at heart. I was named after her. So I have that paranoia. What are they doing? And this whole patriarchal society where we don't talk about it, 80% of women, and we're raised to be demure and to please other people and to put our own needs last. Because if 80% of men had something like this, can you imagine?
Oh my
we
God.
Would have air conditioners in our glasses.
Are you kidding me? They would be blowing from our earrings and all types of shit. Like
we
there would
probably
be
have
all
brain
types
implants.
of classes in schools and all types of stuff. You can probably,
and it would be called something totally different. We would have thermoregulatory balance. We would have thermoregulatory leave of absence, like sabbaticals, right? And the average length of them is 4 to 9 years. Yep. Average.
Yep, that's right.
Right. So what are we doing, world? What do we do in America? And on your note of how you got there, the surgery part, That's another thing that I just now learned. So we had at my physician in service, we always have a specialist come speak with us. And this gentleman was, his name is Dr. Garcia in Wilmington. And he looks white, but his name is Dr. Garcia. So I don't know what he's mixed with, whatever, but clearly what they would call woke, right? And he asked us 10 family practitioners what the most common surgery in America is. And we were thinking hernia, because I've had my hernia done, right? Appendix, that's what we're taught about. No, hysterectomy. Okay, right. That was all of our reaction. And then he showed us a map of America and where these hysterectomies are performed. And they are all primarily blue states, which is all primarily the Black, brown, yellow, and tan. And then the statistics of hysterectomies in the red states is almost nil. Because the doctors who do the procedures that actually work for fibroids, dysfunctional bleeding, menorrhagia, all these things are all centered there. They're strategically not in the blue states, right? That has me question my entire medical education, because I've been a physician for 26 years. And for the 26 years, I have held myself to the standard of always practicing the gold standard, always doing what I was taught. But now I'm learning not to trust what I was taught. And I have told women that hysterectomy is the gold standard because that's what I was taught. But the truth is that uterine artery embolization, burning the artery that's feeding the fibroid, that's feeding the bleeding, an outpatient 20-minute procedure with a 20-minute recovery period, recreates a healthy uterus in 95% of women with those issues.
Wow.
So what have we done to us? Wow. Right? And now that we have all these social media platforms that show us the real history of Black people, the real history of medicine in America, now we're learning that none of this is for us. And not only that, there's so many things about medicine in America now that make me not trust medicine in America. And I am an allopathic physician. I have an MD, right? Like, but this country
You
is
are
the only
best.
Yeah,
Best.
God. Thank God. And I feel kind of guilty for my last 26 years. I did what I was told, I did what I was taught, but now that I'm learning that I was taught lies, you know, like just like the slave Bible, just like all these things that we're taught to keep our own population in check, right? Now I'm starting to question, and I feel the burden, not the burden, but the necessity to re-educate myself, right? To learn the truth and to learn what's really best. And as part of that, I am trusting less and less and less pharmaceuticals because we're the only country in the world that has commercials. And most of our commercials are for cancer, diabetes, and COPD. And when you break that down and really look at them, those are environmental diseases. They're giving us, they fed us the nicotine. They told us it was good for us. They had pregnant women smoke to keep their, and now you're advertising all these inhalers. They give us the high fructose corn syrup and the sugar, and we're the fattest country in the world.
Everything. It's an
and then they took Michael Jackson, Amy, to market this drug to combat that no one can afford because you have to work for these benefits that they make unaffordable, to afford these medications that they make unaffordable.
Say it, doctor.
Right?
Come
like,
on
what
through.
are we
Come
doing? What are they doing to us? So on that note, which state is safe? Right? Which place is the safest place to be as a Black woman? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I know it's not Delaware, and it damn sure ain't the Bible Belt.
Listen.
Right? And we're there.
And we're there.
And it's beautiful, and we can make our lives whatever we want, wherever we are. But to have the sight and the vision and the knowledge to know.
That's it. When you can't, first of all, let me just say, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing how you personally feel, you know, learning what you have learned. Like, that's substantial to me. And that's just one of the many reasons why, you know, I love you, because you live your truth. And one thing that I always say is once you know, you can't unlearn, right? You cannot unlearn that. Like
Right.
when I talk about my menopause journey, I had my hysterectomy at 27, a partial hysterectomy where they took everything, left one ovary, one tube. The ovary, of course, to give me, you know, the hormones that I needed to sustain me through, right? But I'm gonna tell you, if I would have known then what I know now, they wouldn't have took shit.
Right? And an 8-week recovery if you're lucky.
Like hell no. And that was just one of the procedures that I had. The ones prior to that, the endometrial ablation, you know, the the removal of cysts, and like, I mean, it was just so many different things that I wasn't educated on, right?
And so many different things that your insurance then reap the profits of.
That's right.
And that our population didn't get the extra babies that you may have had.
That's right.
At 26, you had how many fertile years left?
Listen, it is just such, and this is a huge reason why the Pretty Moody Foundation exists, because we have to start educating our girls from girls into their womanhood journey, right? So that when they get in those chairs sitting in the doctor's offices, they are educated enough to ask questions, answer the questions, and walk away if they need to.
Yes. Which
Because
is always a choice.
And that is the thing. We don't always know that. We think,
but we were told we don't have a choice. We were brought up to not have a choice.
And this is the doctor. So if the doctor is saying, hey, this is what you have to do, you're thinking that that's what you have to do. So when I come and I sit in your office and I tell you, hey, I don't know, one of the 275 symptoms I didn't came in there for since menopause, you probably was like, get out. But you always come with an approach that you care about the person first.
Right. And that's something that caring is not teachable. I've learned that because I'm popular, and not as a brag. It's just, and not because I'm the smartest or the most up to date. It's because I actually care, look you in the eye and listen to you and care how your life works. And I always say I can hire a staff member and teach them how to do blood pressure. I can't hire them and teach them how to be kind.
Nope.
Right. And kind is not, especially in this day and age, kind is not the norm. And, you know, you come in with all these symptoms and you care about how I perceive you and you care about what I think of you. And 40% of my patients don't. Or you should see how, and now I really, really see, before it rubbed me wrong, but now I see it through a different lens, right? A 70-year-old white man will come into me, half the time call me Angela, not Dr. Brown, right? And then go through the list of,
I'm sorry, I just had to drop, the F-bomb just rolled out. You said Angela,
here's what I need. And so what I've learned is this, and are you keeping up? Are you up with my, and I used to just get angry inside and leave with palpitations and please can someone else see him? Now, right, that was before my hormones shifted. Now, sir, I'm gonna need you to pause. This is where I am, right? This is what I can offer you. And in order for us to have a mutual beneficial relationship, this is how it's gonna have to be. And if not, you are welcome to find a provider who might better work with you.
Get on
right?
out. That's
it. And when I ever am able to hand select my own population, none of that. And I don't care what color your skin is. You don't have kindness and caring. You can be sick, you can be in pain, you can be feeling your worst. And nice people who feel their worst are very different than entitled people who get the sniffles.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure in your salon you see the same thing.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's for sure.
That reminds me. I forgot to buy my Powerball ticket yesterday. I was
Oh,
supposed to wake up rich and be able to get rid of all them, and I forgot.
oh man. I definitely ain't getting, that's why we both on this
Yeah.
why we both on this Zoom right now. Because it would have been a whole different conversation. We would have been sitting talking beside each other on the beach or something.
Tahiti. We didn't just go into Tahiti spur of the moment to make a plan for our money.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Exactly. But oh my gosh, it's just so refreshing to me that doctors like you exist. I've learned during this journey too, in the beginning, that a lot of doctors are not privy to what happens with menopause for real, outside of just having hot flashes. All of the mental health issues that come, the anxiety, the depression. I mean, there's a ton of symptoms. I have, I think, over 50 that I found.
Yes.
And a lot of them do not know. And I
Right.
found it to be very frustrating in the beginning, again, because we're looking to the physician, like, for answers and, for relief and resources and education. And when the physician can't provide it, and let me say this, outside of just trying to give you some medicine, because that's the thing, like, another thing I love when I come and see you, you'll say, hey, you need to get this cream and put this cream on there, or try this or try that. It's not always about just trying to give a prescription. Not that you can't, because you can, but you look for other ways to help us. And that is what we need, and it's what we want.
Yes. And well, some of you did
Some
that.
of
you
us,
were like,
some
give
of
me a
us.
pill, give me a pill. Right?
Yes, some of us
Yes,
don't
yes.
care how we get the relief. And I
Yes.
always say, I don't knock no woman, for how they choose to handle themselves on their menopause journey, because the goal is to have a good quality of life. That's just something that resonates with me. I want to have the best quality of life while I'm on this journey. Some days it's sucky as hell, but all of them are not. So the times that I can embrace those good moments, like, I want to. So whatever woman got to do, if you got to go take that pill, whatever, to make yourself get what you need for your life, then by all means. But for me, I chose to go a more natural, holistic route. How do you feel about that?
The same. So, I hate my menopause symptoms. I hate the hot flashes, and I know all the meds. In fact, a new one came out last month that just works on the hot flashes. And I was excited when they were talking about it, but because they were hyping it up, all the great things, and it decreases your hot flashes by 80%. And then when it finally came out and the pharmaceutical reps came to me and described it, the side effect is hot flash and diarrhea, right? And the side effects, they say it only affects 4% of people.
You said hot flash, diarrhea?
Hot flashes and diarrhea.
Oh, hot flashes and diarrhea.
The number 1 and 2 side effects.
What for?
And not only that, America, I know America, I watch TV. 1 year from now, there's going to be a commercial. Did you or a loved one take this drug and your head fall off or die? Right? Like, so no, and no. Exactly. And for me personally, like, I care very much what I put in my body. I'm already terrified of what I've put in these past 52 years.
Yes.
Right? Because I've eaten what America has fed us. And I no longer believe in that. Right? There are foods. Did you know wheat thins are only available in America? Because the ingredients in them are banned and here's where you always want to compare it to the European states, right? Because they ain't letting you
for sure. And especially for nutrition. And I found menopause too. Like, they're really big on menopause awareness, support, education, and resources in the
Sure. And really, honestly, I actually don't really want to talk about the pharmaceutical side of it, because again, that's up to a woman in your position, right? So if you guys choose, and I tell my patients, every single patient I ever take care of, same thing. I am here for you to live your best life, your healthiest life, as long as you can, not peeing yourself, right? Too much. Some of that's inevitable. Not, not recognizing your own family and having a good quality of life, right? Being able to take your own groceries in the house
Right.
when
That's
you're 75 and 80 years old, right? And I look at my aunts and uncles, look at your family, I'll show you your future, right? And look at that. And there's a lot that I want from them, but there's a lot that I don't. And most of the stuff I don't is health related.
That's
And
it.
us gaining awareness now and addressing our nutrition now and our exercise, really helps the two most common symptoms of menopause. All the mental changes, all the hot flashes, right? Remember, our body is 70% water.
Right.
So that's part of it alone. And then all these systems, the way God made our bodies is just incredible. And I always say this, and I don't mean it as judgment, but I don't know how anyone can understand anything about the human body and not believe in God.
That's right.
Because who else could have made this, right? And every system, and when
Right.
we look at our system in nature, right? Our vascular system, our lymphatic system, our electrical systems, all look like nature.
That's
They
right.
call it the vascular tree because it looks like a tree, right? And so all these trees and systems in our body, the core thing is muscle. So how we take care of and feed our muscles determines how we're going to be, period.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, and part of it, and thanks to Dr. Garcia again for teaching me some of the things, but he's an interventional vascular radiologist. What does he care who's Black and who's white?
That's
What
right.
does he care who exercises?
All
And
on the
because of this, right? Because of this and because he understands that. And he taught me one thing I never knew, which is that, what we worry about are, the things, cholesterol, blood pressure, sugar, weight. And the reason is because of the damage that all these things do to our blood vessels. And women who have the worst symptoms, besides genetic and whatever's going on in the brain, are women whose blood vessels are not in great shape. And not only is the human body capable of getting your blood vessels in better shape, literally they're made out of muscle, so you know what that means. Exercise and water feeding it the right thing. But people who exercise, those muscles will actually grow new vessels.
What?
And it's not, and that was, all of us were like, shh. But then when you think about it, like think about a river. You put a dam in a river and it will forge its way through another path. That's called a tributary, right? The body will do the same thing in the heart. If there's a blockage in the heart, they'll make tributaries to feed what needs to be fed. And in the legs, exercisers get 90% less disease in their legs, vascular complications from cholesterol, smoking, all that stuff. Just from, if that alone isn't reason enough to move a muscle.
That's enough for me. Pretties, did y'all hear that? Make sure you are moving. Get your bodies moving. The goal
moving and
be here.
Moving.
Longevity.
Muscles are, when you think about it, muscles are your biggest organ. Your muscles weigh more than your heart, your lungs, your brain, all these vital organs, right?
Yeah.
And they don't just hold us together. They make hormones, lots of them. They make endorphins that help with mental health. Thank you. I need that in menopause.
I just said
that. Right? They make hormones that act like insulin. So exercisers, no matter what your family history is, get way less diabetes. And if they do get it, it's way better control. Wow. Right? And they make your whole system work better. So use them. And another thing a cardiologist taught me, exercise is the only thing proven to prevent dementia.
You ain't gotta say no more.
If that menopausal memory loss, I'm already losing it. I can't remember my kids' names.
Oh my God.
Mid-sentence, right?
I'm telling you, it is like, if I'm telling you, that whole memory, the brain fog is crazy. And I will have to say, first of all, you are dropping some gems, Doc. So thank you. Like this is so amazing, this content. Now, how do you get back on? Do you fall off the wagon sometimes? Like when you when you in your exercise groove or whatever, do sometimes you can't, like you fall off? Or you?
Well, Sherelle, actually, since you mentioned it, recently here in Delaware, they opened a crumble cookie. Have you had those yet? Yeah. So my first experience with the crumble cookie was actually on my way to my Zumba class, and the intention was to buy them for work the next day. The problem was when I carried this party box of cookies out, the one right over my hand was warm. And let's just say I picked them up about 10 minutes before Zumba, and all through Zumba, I couldn't even jump. I was so nauseous from whooping down that cookie in the car. And then I dreamt about it. So yeah, I am a sugar addict. And what I've done, and thank you again for life changing and having kids big enough for me to create this life, but I have formed friendships with my exercise crew. So I discovered I love dance fitness. So I started going. Right. And then I found a crew, and literally my crew now, we vacation together. We're together 5 days a week. I'm not an alcohol drinker because it gives me migraines, but they do. I'm the designated driver of the crew. And so we drink together, we get together, and you know, having this group of women who I will add, my group is seriously culturally diverse. Right. Because, and again, let me not come off like if it's not from Black people, it's not good. That's not what I'm saying at all. Right. Because there are great-minded women of all colors and people of all colors. And I welcome that, but you have to feel out who's who. That's right. And know who to trust. Right. They have to show me who you are, and then you're in my circle. Right. And so I have the circle of friends. So that is, for me, exercise is 1000% accountability. I'm a people person. I have a virtual personal trainer, a Black guy who I love. Bonton, if anybody's interested, he does amazing work, and he is decent. But I meet with him right here where I am now on my back porch 3 mornings a week before work. And what I found is, because I don't always think I want to pay for it because I love to shop, but if he's not there where you are, I'm not working as hard. It's just who I am, right? I will give myself reasons, excuses not to. Yes. My friends won't let me do that. My trainer won't let me do that. And so that's why all my exercise is like that. My sister's the opposite. She needs to be alone. For her, it's mentally and spiritually therapeutic. She prays while she does the treadmill. My sister gets up at 3:30 in the morning and works out for an hour and a half because her job, she gets to her job between 5 and 6 every day. So and our parents were not exercisers. Yes. But we were raised in the 80s when plastic surgery and weaves and fake nails and all these things told us who we should be. So our addiction to our physicality started with that. Not that was the healthiest way, but that's right. Now that I have the knowledge I have, it's like, okay, this has to work. Yes. Yes, I agree with you. And thank you for sharing that. Menopause is not one size fit all, right? And I think that is so great that you found this community of women, your circle, and that's what we want. And that's what Pretty Moody is, a community. It's all about, you know, just finding what works and who works, and this person maybe can relate, or this person can help motivate me. Like, I think that that's so amazing, because we have to find like what works for us. Right. Yes. And be real. And like you said earlier, in fact, I just heard this amazing Black woman psychotherapist, Dr. Sharice. I can't remember her last name, but she's got a website and everything. But she said, anything in life, you treat it like meat. You eat the meat and leave the bones. That's it. And all of our bone piles are going to look different. That's it. Because we're all different and we all need different things. So what works for you, and only you can know that. And until you are solid in knowing who you are, why you're here, and then what you need, and then develop the muscles to be able to exclude what doesn't work and take what does. That's why, and that's this new awakening. That's our new season. And this is building our senior citizenship later. Yes. I don't want to be that woman on a walker or looking out my window wishing I was there. Can you imagine how, like, before, like, I never really thought about like the aging process, right? I've never really heard women around me and my family talk about, oh, I'm getting old, or I'm getting old. They just did it. Right. Yes. And
and not to say that they did it gracefully, because you know how the food, all of that, like you said, we grew up on, you know, the cultural habits,
Right.
all of those things kind of shaped us into who we are now.
Right.
But the now for me is knowing that I have the control.
Yes.
To
Because there were too many rules before. Finish your plate, don't say no, be polite, you know, all these things that we were groomed to be. And I told you I'm on my paranoid phase of life now. So who made that up?
Yeah.
And in the end, I always tell the same thing. Some old white man that's dead now.
Yep.
Right?
That's
and
right.
we were here for their purposes. That's
That's
all especially in America.
That's
but
it.
really worldwide. Look how the world treats people of color. Look how the world treats poor people.
Yeah.
Right? We're here for them.
To this day.
Yes.
You know, like how I want to switch gears like real quick, just because this just came up, and this is how the Pretty Moody podcast go. We just flow, right? So how has this journey been for your husband and your marriage? Like, because I find that like we're on this like, oh shit, I gotta find out who I am right now, right? Because if I can't be anything to me, then I damn sure can't be anything to you. And I had made a comment, I did a pop-up a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking, and I said, I think we all have to get comfortable with saying, okay, we need to reintroduce ourselves to us first, right? Us first, and then our partners. Because, and they change too. They just don't admit the shit, but
menopause is real.
Listen, I tell him all day long. First of all, your mood swings, your hot flashes, your night sweats. I told him last week I was about to put a Pretty Moody patch on him. And he was in the bed sweating hot. I said, I'm about to put a patch on you.
Listen, I actually, and my family hates for me to say this, I have one husband so far and two sons, right? And they're all beanpoles. They can eat whatever they want. And the victory in all of it is that they're all alive. I have not killed them. They've given me plenty of
they're still breathing.
There's been no bloodshed. But I've had all of them. Like, I'm not here to rescue you. I'm not here to mother you, right? I'm here to foster your independence. And I love you like a mother, but you got to get your own therapist. You need your own coach to go through this. You need your own journey. You need your own why. Because I can't give that to you, and I'm not going to be here. And honestly, I'm not here for that. In fact, this very weekend, I have quit all the duties. Right? This weekend, I just did what works for me. There are weekends where I shop the food, prep the food, get the, do all those things. But what I needed for me was a reset. And bad words come out of my mouth a lot now. And in fact, the other night, one of the things too that my husband and I still do that gives us peace is walk. And my husband's a country boy and I'm a city girl. So he likes to walk in the woods. And I'm actually terrified of nature. So it's a healthy balance. He always has to go first in case there's a snake or a spider or anything that scares me. But the other night coming home, he got too hot. Just because it was hot outside and we had walked. And so you could call it a hot flash if you like, because suddenly he became very warm. You know, this motherfucker stopped the car and took his shirt off and put the air on full blast and had all the. I was like, no, the hell you.
He stopped the car. He took his shirt.
Hold on. The average woman gets at least 15 a day, and taking our shirts off, I remind you, is not socially acceptable ever.
Not at all.
Nor is going broward, right?
Not at all. First of all, showing the damn hot flash is almost like you can't even say you have a hot flash. So to take your shirt, but see, these men, boy. So what was your reaction to that?
Well, the other thing I say, it's not always appropriate, but I call these my breasticles, and I say they're much stronger than your testicles. And so, as a sarcastic woman, I usually say, "Oh, we did them hard. They had a house. You need that." That's what I usually go to. No, stop everything. It's not fair. It's not
No,
fair.
not fair at all. Who would
You
do
shouldn't
such a
have
thing?
to. My God, hold on, let me count. Fuck out of here. Live my life.
But
Pop out
that's
a kid. Pop out a kid, have your uterus stretched out, your whole pelvis too big, your knees hurt, your veins ain't right, you're swollen, right? And then work full time and take care of a family. Do that. And then tell me how hard you did it.
do that shit. Do that shit.
Right. Say something else. That's the phase of life I'm in. Say something else. Right? Say something else.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever get it, honestly. I try to explain and talk but sometimes I think they think explaining is complaining. Or
yes, and
that's what you feel. It's like
Yeah.
you're complaining. And it's like, no, I fucking feel crazy right now. And I just want to say it. I just want to say
and
how
you're not helping, and you're making me angry, and my anger meter is not what it used to be. But then again, to me, it all still relates to grief. And part of it, and I told you earlier, the phase of life I'm in right now, I have lost 14 family members and friends in the last 4 months, right? So me and grief are like this, right? Grief is my homeboy, and thank you. And not fortunately, but today in my life when I was younger, the greatest grief I ever had was losing a set of twins while I was pregnant that I had already told everyone about. And when I tell you that hurt me to my core, and the blessing was because I was not functioning, like I couldn't, and I had to go back to work after I lost them. So while working, like all my patients think God love me. And we're coming and be like, how are the babies after pregnancy? Because I still look pregnant, right? And I was getting sad and angry. So I got complete counseling, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I've never forgotten it. And it has really helped me through this menopause situation because there's a grief, right? There's a grief that they don't understand. There's a grief that they don't get it. There's anger, bitterness, and resentment, right? All the things that tear away at our soul. And what he told me was, grief is actually a life process just for not just humans, but mammals, right? You take away an apes baby and she's
Yes.
I leave for 3 days, I come back, my cat has been dead, right? So this grief is designed to make us better beings. Yes. And it's a horrible experience, but with, every tear has to be cried, every single one. Right. Every emotion has to be felt. And there is no identical grief. Your grief of what you lost, right? Mine is not what, and at that time, my husband's grief over this miscarriage was nothing like mine. And I was angry. And he explained to me, it can't be. Yeah. He didn't have that relationship. He didn't feel that. Every person who loses a parent, right? No one on the planet has that relationship. So there's no wrong way to grieve. Every grief is perfect. And every tear then gets woven into the fabric that makes you you. That's right. And how you handle it. And again, being kind and open to love, right? When you're that way, you can be the saddest human on earth and relate to another human. Have you ever seen those experiments where they put like a hungry child or something next to on the sidewalk? And it's usually the homeless people who give them the most, right? Because they know, because their soul has become that beautiful through their experience. And I'm looking at this as the same thing. And so while, yes, I get highly frustrated with men, I've learned now to draw the boundary. When I'm seeing patients, I literally have 3 fans, right? I have my big tower fan, and I tell them, hold on, keep talking. I'm just turning on my mega menopause fan. And then I have my mini menopause fan. And then thanks to Pretty Moody and that company, I have my special personalized neck fan. I worked out in this yesterday, right? Accept me for who I am, and this is what I need. And through all this heat and sweat and funk, I am still going to take care of you, right? Through all my grief, I am going to now have a bigger heart and understanding for all the grief I see. And especially in America today, we're grieving. Even the racists are grieving, right? It hurts them. And I don't have any sympathy, but I get it. Imagine if you had been raised so privileged. You always had servants, and everything went your way, and then you
Yep.
have to.
And then you gotta get that shit up. Yeah. Oh. Like,
It's the same kind of pity I have for my husband when he has
yeah.
hot flash.
You're
I'm
like,
not saying it's kind pity. The food is so
Yeah.
hard, right? But
yes.
so that's a long explanation of
No,
why.
that was so beautifully explained. And once again, thank you for your vulnerability and sharing your experience. I'm so sorry for your loss. I feel that God makes no mistakes. And I feel that you're so right. Everything he says, we're going to go through the fire, but the goal is to come out as pure gold. So
And we will.
And we will. And we just have to keep our eye. One of the things I've always tell myself is the goal is to get to the other side of the thing. Whatever the thing is, you don't want to stay stuck in the thing. The goal is to get out of it and get on the other side.
Better, not bitter, right?
Better and not bitter. And taking these life lessons and these journeys and all these winding roads and valleys and mountains and just bring them, they all make us who we are.
Yes.
And
we're all headed to the same place.
That's right.
Right?
That's
and how we live now, determines that path, and how we think, feel, and we all have people who are already there.
That's right.
And at this point, we start to feel and see our mortality. You know, if we never did before, and there are times where you did before, but now really.
Now it's on a whole, like, life journey has a total different meaning to me now. Yes. Total different meaning to me.
Yeah.
And I'm at the point where I literally, like, I don't give a fuck if you don't get it, because I have to get it. And it's my mission to get it. I want my vessel to be in a healthy state. Even if it's hurting, most of the time it's hurting from some type of menopause, joint pain or something. But
it's for the floaters that you see there.
Yes. But even with the ailments that come with it, the unpleasantries that come with it, I still want to do the best that I can do for myself. And that's making sure that I'm putting, great things in my body. Making sure that, I'm getting exercise in. I do fall off, I fall short, but I always pick myself back up and get right back on the journey.
Right.
So,
and that's part of the journey. Right. And so there's this nutrition plan I was telling you earlier that I'm on.
I hear about that.
Oh my gosh. Incredible. So the January 1st, today is July 15th. January 1st, I gave up sugar. Right. I was asked to speak at a conference in Aruba. Yes. Because I am a sugar addict. You heard me talking about these crumble cookies, right? I'm a sugar addict.
Some crumble cookies is the devil.
I think there's a spot in the back where they just sprinkle a little crack in it. Because there's no way I could be this obsessed with these cookies, right? But hey, I gave up sugar because I was going to be speaking at this Black Women's Mind, Body, Soul conference in Aruba in May. And I didn't want to take a Christmas cookie puppy body to talk about health or a body, right? So I gave up sugar because I knew that was my vice. But then also in January, I had a patient come in, a 58-year-old Black woman in menopause, knee issues, couldn't exercise, and it was after Christmas. Her sugars were out of control, her cholesterol, her blood pressure, her weight, everything was that perfect storm of a heart attack or stroke, which is always what we're trying to prevent, right? And she said to me, and I said, you're looking at insulin if nothing changes. And she said, give me 3 months, please. And I'm all for that. Fix it with food, fix it with movement, right? You can be in a wheelchair and move. Right, lifting up a water bottle 18 times is exercise, right? Okay, so fix it. 3 months later, this woman came back. She had lost 25 pounds, and all of her numbers were normal, and I took her off all her meds. What? And I was like, and in 26 years of practicing medicine, I have never seen that. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, what is that you did?
Yes,
And
like
it's,
do tell.
yeah, it's this program created by a Black man. He was an athlete and a personal trainer and an Air Force guy. And he realized none of that was enough. He designed this company called Eager to Motivate. Eager, the number 2, motivate. And so me and the office manager signed up that day because it's an 8-week program, right? So I said, I'll just read about it. I have lots of busy things coming up and I'm going to eat whatever I want and I don't have time. But I read about it and adopted it. And he's got an arm for every single important thing, right? He's got one for the exercise, which I didn't even look at because I exercise. He's got one for motivation because that's a lot of it. Motivation is very temporary. Discipline is the permanent thing, and self-discipline. So that's one arm. And every day he gives, and he's an excellent coach. He gives a talk about it, right? Like the next day, this day, what to do, mindset. He has a part for nutrition. That's the part that changed my life. I'll teach that last. And then, so I talk about this program all day, every day to everybody, right? So my nurse, the nurses upstairs, I told one of the nurses about it, and I went to work this past Tuesday, and she said, real casual. She's one of the most intelligent Black women I ever met. And she says, hey, Dr. Brown, I started that program you talked about 10 days ago. I've lost 10 pounds in 10 days. But my favorite part is the mental health fitness part. And I was like, there's a mental health part? And she said, yeah, my brother's a psychiatrist. He graduated Yale and now he works at Harvard, whatever. And I ran it past him and said it's from South. And I went on and they have this Black woman therapist who is all that and then some. Her name is Dr. Sharice, and I can't remember her last name, but it's Chary, and she has her own website. But she directed us to this website called Do It Scared, doitscared.com, and you can take this test that tells you your personality archetype. There's 7 main ones, and then learn yourself and what works for yourself in every relationship. And she had us use it to address our relationship with food. Right. So me personally, I'm a people pleaser, which is how I was groomed. And people pleasers generally are raised by parents who were unwell. Right. And we had to learn to adapt to make life most comfortable and the least scary based on other people's needs. They were these parents raised us. And then to appreciate the parents for doing their best with what they had. That's all I'm doing. But like learning that about yourself and that learning that boundaries is a huge challenge for you and that you say yes too much and applying that to your discipline with food. So that was me that night with that warm cookie. I was disciplined. I had done everything right that day and I was going to Zumba. And yet that warm cookie was permission enough for myself, right? Because my discipline muscle is not strong as it should be. Right?
Mine's not strong enough. Not for a cookie.
Right? And then also, and the thing, his name is Jeff Spoon. I think his name is Jeff Witherspoon, but he said that you can change the lens that you look at that with, right? Is it a cheat or is it a celebration? Right? And everybody deserves a celebration. And everybody celebrate every day. I do the month of my birthday, but other than that, like generally you don't, right?
Right.
We don't work every day. We take days off, and those are celebration days. And those are days where you should enjoy the food that is the celebration for you. So anyway, this program has changed my whole life. And it's not a pyramid thing, it's an 8-week thing. So in the 8 weeks, I very loosely did it. And in those 8 weeks, I lost 10 pounds and my cholesterol went down 50 points.
Wow.
Because it had to address my sugar addiction and my sugar-free addiction, right? I'm addicted to all that. And if it's sweet, yes.
Yes.
And everybody's not like that, but
no, I have my moments where I crave certain things. And when I crave it, I want it. And that's it. And it's like, I want
it. And if you don't have it, you'll eat 1,000 calories.
That's it. It's like, just give it to me and let me do, and I'm good.
And the extra weight and the nutrition really impact menopause.
Wow.
Right? Like 20 pounds ago, my hot flashes were a whole different animal.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my God.
And with all the sugar, it was a whole different animal.
Of course.
So healthier me is able to handle it better.
Yeah.
And that's just one of 8,000 reasons to be healthier, but it all connects.
Gosh, I love it. Can you give the information for his program?
Yes. It's called Eager, the number 2, Motivate. He has a website. The main platform is Facebook. And you pay for one cycle. It's 8 weeks. It's $40 a week once, and you're in for life.
Wow.
So I paid $320 that day. Me and the office manager, we just paid.
That
Like I'm in.
sign me up.
Right?
Like just sign me up. I mean, really,
And-
you can't put a price on your health, honestly.
Right.
Really.
And I
You got
put that much money into other things
other
before
stuff,
I've been
and that's what I was about to
say. Right?
That's what I was about to say. You get crabs 2 weeks in a row, and you I didn't, because I love crabs. I love me some blue crabs. Blue crabs, right? I want the juice running down the arm.
Maryland. Yeah.
Like, yes, the Maryland crab. But it's like, you can spend that on going out to eat a couple
Right.
weeks. So
Right.
why not take that money and invest it into your health so that you can have a better you?
Yeah.
Like, why
And
not?
again, in America right now, they're giving us shots for being fat.
What?
After they fed us the sugar and the high fructose corn syrup and all these processed,
because we're going to get the
factory
money
food.
in the beginning and we're going to get the money in the end. We're going to get the
Because
money.
remember, for that shot, which is $3,000 a month, you have to work full time for the benefits for an insurance company that may or may not cover it. Like, and they're happy commercials and Hollywood's using it, and our whole system is not designed for
No.
our mental health or our physical health.
It really is not. My goal is my ultimate goal with Pretty Moody is to have a menopause center. That's my ultimate goal. And I want it to be just, I mean, everything, holistic care, everything, but just to have a better life.
Yes.
Juice bar, physical health, mental health. I mean, just all of it. Nutrition. We need all of it.
But you know what? To tag on that, my dream for you is that you have exactly that, but that impacts these millions of women across the globe, right? Because when you take it virtual, which technically is what this program has done, it's based in South Carolina, which I've never, but to take that and to have those elements everywhere, because what we're doing right now, it's a new world. Your system, this Pretty Moody, this is for women of every color, every nationality, because menopause is universal.
That's it. They say statistic keeps coming up by the year 2025, 6 billion, over 6 billion of us will be in menopause. I said that back in 2020, and now it's to the forefront where we're seeing it like more and more now, because a lot of us are coming forward now and feeling more freely about speaking about menopause. There's a lot of platforms out here now, and I'm all for it. It's like, we gotta like link arms and get this word spread so that we can like really stand like firm. You know what I mean? Like on our journeys, and the woman that we're becoming and the woman that we are. Like we gotta get confident with that and be okay with putting those boundaries in place. I mean, listen.
And thank you, political horribleness. Because it's eye-opening, right? If this hadn't happened, if we never had a Trump, we'd never have this movement.
That's right.
And it's almost like America's in labor. This is hard.
Yep.
But what comes next?
That's right.
Is going to be
right.
And we're going to help, like you said, all these younger people with all of that.
Yes. This is going to continue on and on and on. I hope that I can continue to be a part of your journey. I hope that you can continue to please be a part of the Pretty Moody journey.
Now that's already done. This wedding ring, that represents so many relationships, and you're one of them, right? You're in that. So
look, we like the whole, remember me and my best friend, we did the Blood Sisters thing back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, you can just bump rings. We can just bump some rings. I love it. I love you so much. Like this has just been so great. It's like I can sit here and talk to you like literally for hours. Like, and I love talking about, menopause. Like it sounds crazy to some people, but it is the thing that ignites me now. Being on this journey, the way that I got here, at first I was pissed off about it and, hurt and angry and upset and all those other emotions that come. And then, God just said to me, like very loud and clear, haven't I always had you? Have I ever steered you wrong? Have I ever put you on the wrong path? And when that spoke to my spirit, I just was like, oh, okay. It turned into, well, use me. Use me however you see fit for this journey to help as many women as I can. That's what I'm here to do. So, and it's by
And it's so clear, you radiate it.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. And it's by having women like you, you know, to come on and support and share your expertise and be vulnerable and be real. Like we need those truths, and we need for women like me to see women like you that are doctors that are as real women. You know what I mean? Like, hey, she's experiencing this too, just like we are, you know, and we get to get your, you know, all of your greatness and, you know, the gems that you drop. So I'm so appreciative to you. This was good. This was
That
really
is mutual, very, very mutual. And part of why I practice like I do is because everybody's got that spark. Every single human has that spark. It's just if you don't go through all those stages,
That's
denial,
right.
anger, bargaining,
That's
whatever, depression,
That's
and
right.
acceptance,
And
right? And then nurture your spark.
that's
Because
it.
we're taught to go and to do what other people want. And everybody's spark is different. I thank God you're the menopause warrior. I thank God my sister-in-law has a heart to serve, you know, the military. I don't.
Yeah.
Right? My
We all have
passion is
our thing.
here.
That's right.
Yeah. And when
That's right.
when you live your passion and be who you are, that's the gift.
Yes.
That's what helps the whole world. That's why I know that your center isn't just going to impact the center, because I see it in you.
Thank you.
And I know it's going to be like a worldwide thing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I love you so much. Thank you.
I love you too. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for being here. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. And I want to ask one last question. Because I love to leave with just something positive for the woman that's on their journeys. What is something that you will say, a piece of advice or anything that you would love to leave the woman with that are on their
I would leave the women with, you're doing this, right? You're still here. And hope is hope is hope is hope everywhere, right? That listen to that voice, not those, right?
Yeah.
That still inner voice. We all have it. We all know it. No, it's a complete sentence.
That's right.
Doing nothing. You know how many times I do nothing with my cat? How many times I just watch Law and Order because I love it? You know, like, do you, boo? Because that's what we're here for. And that will help you to serve whatever your gift is.
That's right.
And your gift might just be to nurture yourself so that you can be you. Sometimes your gift, one of my gifts I've just learned is smiling.
Oh,
right? It
so
changes
beautiful.
but like people receive that.
Yes.
Right? Like, and it helps people and it makes a difference. And if that's all I ever give, that's enough.
That's enough.
Right?
And
you are enough. That's the gem. You are enough.
That
and
right.
listen to that voice and be you.
That is amazing. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Like, it's so that, first of all, standing in that truth is where I'm trying to be, you know, like that's amazing. Thank you.
Oh, and then that other voice, remember to tell that one to shut up.
Yeah, shut the
You know, the cartoons with the little devil on the shoulder, the one that was with me at 2:00 this morning. You don't even know enough to talk about that, right? Tell the fuck up. I'm doing this. But
doing this.
It's a challenge every day. Yeah.
It is. And I get the anxiety that I have now, never had anxiety before in my life, like ever, right? Mm-hmm. The anxiety that I get to do anything, like it'll start off like, just cancel it.
Yes, me too.
Like, just try to get out of it. You know, all the crazy shit comes. Like, oh, well, this came up and that came, and it's like, the energy starts going crazy and oh my gosh, like what am I going to say? How am I going to and it's like, no, like you said, you got this. Just chill the hell out. Chill the hell out. Literally.
And it helps that I'm way easier with that when I already made a promise to you. Right? When I make a promise to me.
Ditto. It's different when it's outward to someone else. You're absolutely right, for sure.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
accountability, right? Engage anybody in your life that you trust, and don't trust who you think you should. Trust who your heart tells you to trust.
I love that.
Because it's different everywhere.
I love that. Well, you are definitely the sunflower.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you, yeah.
yes. This was so good. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown.
You
Dr.
are
I'm
so
sorry, let me
welcome.
back that up. Thank you so much, Dr. Angela Davis Brown.
No, thank you so much, Mrs. Sorrell Flagg, Queen of Pretty Moody.
I appreciate you. And I guess everybody's telling me to wrap it up over here. So I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate your time. And I'm going to play this back, I'm sure, over and over again, because it's a lot of gems in here. And I guess
edit out all the crazy. And then just put in the gems.
maybe we might have to leave some of that in there. But I love you so much. Thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you. And
I love you too. Thank you.
I'll see you soon and talk to you.
Yes,
soon.
and we'll do it again.
Thank you. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you more. Bye.
Bye-bye.